Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another midweek chat with Jasmine. I'm your host, Jasmine Bryant, your brand visibility coach, helping network marketers, coaches, and small business owners just like you to get out of that 9 to 5 rut that nobody wants and stop having to ask permission from your boss to live your life. And I do that by helping you become visible. And so today we have a master of visibility with us, and I'm so excited for this chat. We've got Dante Rusciolelli here from Hollywood, got up extra early for us today. So thank you, Dante. I appreciate you being here. Can you hear me? Are you frozen?
Yeah, you froze for a second.
Oh, oh my
Sorry,
gosh.
I'm assuming you introduced me. Hi,
I
everybody.
did. Oh
That's
my
all
gosh.
right. I heard from Hollywood.
Oh gosh. Okay, well, I'll just in case I froze a lot. We've got Dante Rusciolelli here from Hollywood. Dante is a comedian, an actor, a celebrity manager, and a civil rights activist, and just has the most amazing stories. And this is going to be a different conversation than we've had over the past several weeks. Um, and I'm super pumped about it. So Dante,
Same.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm excited to do this. And yes, I'm in Hollywood. It's a beautiful day and it's not so hot. I can be outside in my yard doing the interview, and it is early here, but it's I own a company, so I was up hours before, so no big deal.
Yeah, no, I, you know what? It's funny. Like we talked before, just before we
Yeah,
went live, that I used to live out in Hollywood, and I worked at E Entertainment, and I'm excited to work at E. Then I realized that we had to keep East Coast hours, and East Coast hours in Los Angeles, they're not fun.
no, no. I actually sort of used to work at E as well. I was a writer for Joan Rivers, and used to have to go over there for her Fashion Police show.
Policed a little bit.
You are breaking up. It's so weird. We weren't breaking up before we started. It's so crazy.
Apps. Maybe
Okay.
that's the thing. I don't know. I have probably 30 or so windows open right now.
You never
Why?
know. That could do it.
Yeah. So let me just close some windows here and hopefully it will be okay. Is it better now or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So what year did you do Fashion Police?
Gosh. 2011 through 2014, I think.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I was there twice just before that.
I see.
I did like the first iteration of Fashion Police with Juliana, and then another little bit with Kelly Osbourne.
I
But
see.
yeah, it was
So
I
we
love
didn't really work at E. We worked at Joan Rivers' house. Well, it was actually Melissa Rivers' house. But then
mhm.
anytime it was the Emmys or the Academy Awards or whatever, they would have us over there for about 24 hours. We had to like
Oh
sit there
my
all day long and write for the red carpet and write for the award show and write for the next day because she would do a follow-up right
yeah.
afterwards. So we were there from all night through the morning. We'd see her at 8 in the morning, hand our stuff, and then go to bed.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, red carpet season was fun because of the swag boxes or the swag bags that would come to the office. But then doing all the other things, it's like, okay, can it be done? Like, can February come and go?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, can we just be
Right. You're lucky you got swag bags. All we ever got from Joan, not that she was a jerk or anything, but we always got like Fashion Police merch.
oh gosh. That is funny. No,
Yeah.
we used to get the Oscars would send us things and the Golden
Wow.
Globes would send us things. Like I have a Staub pot in my kitchen right now that I've lugged all over the world that I got for free from an Oscars gift basket.
Wow.
I mean, it's like a $400 pot. It's insane.
I know. I know. That is fun getting free stuff.
Yeah, yeah. But so okay. So you have this amazing background, right? And you've been in comedy for what, 37 or so years,
Yeah,
right?
37 years, correct. Yeah.
Okay. And it's not an easy gig.
No,
It's
no. And especially when you start as young as I did. I'm only 53, so if you do the math, what was I, 15? Or yeah, it was about 15 when I started stand up. And
wow.
but I started in the best time, I think, in history, because it was the first big boom of comedy. The 80s were huge. That's when all like
Yeah.
Comedy Central started, and there were like
Mhm.
different TV shows about stand up. And as an opening act back then, I was making like $300 a show. I don't even know if some headliners make $300 a show now. And they
Oh
were
wow.
flying me around the world. Plus, every giant stand-up star was still at the comedy store, still at the improv, and they were in the prime of their lives. That's when I was, friends with like Richard Pryor and Sam Kinison and Andrew Dice Clay, and I watched, all these people, Joe Rogan starting and Pauly Shore beginning, and just all the people that were starting back in the 80s that are,
Wow.
yeah, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. And I
Oh yeah.
started, yeah, I started with so many people, and I got really popular for a while. I started a show in LA in the Belly Room. And yeah, it just became so popular that every week giant stars came out to our show every single week. Every week. It was Shaq was there, Dr. Dre was there, Tupac. I mean, I became friends with all those guys. It was crazy.
That is amazing. And what people need to realize is this is before social media.
Right. It was like I don't even know how we advertised. I think I used to literally go to Hollywood Boulevard the day of my Tuesday show and pass out flyers and be like, "Hey, do you want to see Damon Wayans and me tonight?" Or I'd go to the anywhere I thought tourists would go. I would always run
Mhm.
over to who was Arsenio Hall's show. And
Oh
I would go
gosh.
stand in that line with everybody else and pass out flyers. And then usually I'd call someone and be like, "Hey, can I get in to watch the show?" So I'd go watch the show. And then I'd go over to my show that night. It was fun times.
Yeah. It's amazing. And that really goes to visibility, right? Because if you have a show, like you're promoting a show right now, you have a couple of shows coming up, right? If you don't tell anybody about it, what happens?
No one goes.
Exactly. If no one goes to your shows, you don't make any money.
Right. And yeah, and it's like I'm in a weird position. I'm semi-famous. You know what I mean? Like if you're
Mhm.
a fan of Dante, then you know where I'm gonna be and you'll show up and all that stuff. But I don't have enough fans to fill up an arena. I have enough fans to maybe fill up two of my 5 nights that I'm at a comedy club for the weekend. And
Mhm.
so I need to promote. If I don't promote, so that's how it works for me. But I kind of like that kind of fame, to be honest with you. I don't want the kind
Yeah.
of fame where I can't go to a restaurant, I can't use the urinal, I can't, do all the things
Yeah.
regular people do. I like having enough fame to where I'm recognized maybe once a day. Um, but I can sell, 300 tickets a night. I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. I don't need anything else. I'm okay with where this is. It's a happy place.
It's a good place. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's awesome.
yeah.
And so tell us where your next show is, where you're gonna be.
Well, let me look on my schedule here and tell you because there's a bunch coming up. So I'm going to be in Palm Springs. That I do know. There's.
Nice.
Do you ever watch Drag Race?
I love Drag Race.
Okay, so I'm a big fan too, and so the Snatch Game on there is a takeoff of the Match Game from the '70s and '80s.
Mhm.
But what happened before that is a guy named Dennis Hensley took it to the Gay and Lesbian Center and made something called the Mismatch Game, which the Snatch Game basically took, where they have semi celebrities like myself playing other celebrities. Like I'll do Jack Nicholson on there. I do Christopher Lloyd. You know who he is? He's the Doc
Mhm.
from Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Marty, we've got to get back to the future. Um, so we play the game as these celebrities, and we're going to be in Palm Springs August 3rd. So people should come check
Nice.
us out. I'm at JP's Comedy Club in Phoenix August 9th and 10th. I'm at Mesquite Street in Corpus Christi August 16th, 17th. And then after that, no one's going to remember. I think
Yeah.
September 3rd, I'm at Brad Garrett's in Las Vegas.
Nice, nice. And see, and that is pretty awesome because you're putting it out there, you're telling people where you are, where you're going to be, and they can go to your website, right? Look it up.
ComicDante.com. Right. It'll be on there.
All right, wait, hold on. I'm going to put it in the chat in the comments. What's it again?
ComicDante.com. ComicDante. Now you're going to make me have to put my full schedule on there so I don't feel like an idiot when they go. I'll make a note about that.
It's what we do, right?
It's what we do.
It's what we do. And so, and as a celebrity manager, this
Yeah.
is also part of your wheelhouse, right? Is getting them seen so that they can, you know, continue to be semi-famous or very famous.
Yeah. So I have a company called Golden Artists Entertainment, and we represent a lot of actors and comedians and celebrities. We do, bookings for comedians, but we also have a lot of big name actors that people would know that we get acting work for. We get, whatever they're looking for, sponsorship deals. And what's crazy is people don't realize for their small businesses, they can get celebrities to do sponsorship for not that much. Because I think a lot of them do it on a sliding scale. If Pepsi wants them to do a commercial, they're going to ask for $2 million. But if some guy who owns a hardware store in Montana wants, you to make a video that he can use on the internet, it's affordable.
I love that. I love that.
People just don't think about it. But if they came to me, I could explain it to them.
We're going to have that conversation another time for sure.
Yeah. Because I have huge people that, that are influencers that if they tweet something once or post it on Instagram, all of a sudden you get business.
Yeah. I mean, it's proximity to power, connections. Like it's all so relevant and so connected and so intertwined. And I don't think, like you said, people don't really realize it. And you have like these micro influencers that will charge you to do things, and people might not even know who they are. But your content roster is far more impressive than a micro influencer on Instagram.
Sure, but you also never know. Like there was a guy who pays us to promote his vitamins. And he goes, Dante, I'd like to try out like 10 of you, right? And he goes, I want you to do it too because I like your stuff. I said, okay. So I hired, he goes, but these are the people that are, into health and blah, blah, blah. So, and they were, models and whatever. Let's use them because they have 500,000 or 2 million or whatever views. And Dante, you only have, 16 or 30,000. It doesn't matter. It's nowhere near 1 million. But at the end, he goes, you had just as much return on investment as the people with millions because your people were more interactive and actually bought. Whereas the person with millions, they might have had 60 people that bought. I have 30,000, but I had 30 people that bought. So I was just as important and I cost a lot less.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah. So you just never know who could be good for your company. And a lot of times companies like myself will give you a discount if you go, hey, let's try out a bunch of people the first time. And then we'll look at the numbers and go from there.
I love that. I love that. And like, so speaking of followers and social media, is it true Barack Obama is one of your followers?
Yes. I love this. I love it so much. And I think he followed me for a while. So I was famous in the 90s on BET. I was on a show called Comic View almost every day of the week, almost every day. And then BET also gave me a sitcom called The Blackberry Inn, where it was a hotel, and I was one of 5 employees. It was owned by a woman named Miss Laura, and every week 2 celebrities would check into the hotel. And so anyway, I think because of my BET fame, he knew who I was and followed me for years, and I didn't know it because one day I was looking on Twitter and my wife said to me, oh, who follows you? Because Nancy Sinatra follows me and blah, blah, blah. And we're looking through because I guess you could look at who is verified, who follows you.
Yeah.
And she goes, oh my God, Britney Spears follows you? Oh my God, so-and-so. And then she goes, wait a minute, is that the president? Crazy.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is awesome. I mean, it's just how random, because he doesn't follow a lot of people.
He sure doesn't. I was shocked by it. Maybe he thinks my impressions are funny. Who knows? But it's crazy how many people know me from the BET days. Like, I think Prince used to have a crush on me because he came out to one of my shows at the Comedy Store one night. Then I show up to his concert and I kept thinking, I was like in like the 10th row, but I kept thinking he's staring at me the whole time. So then me and my ex-wife, we were waiting outside to see if he would come out because everybody wanted something signed or whatever.
Yes,
He
yeah.
came out and he doesn't sign anything. What he does is he comes out with what's it called? Is it Watchtower or something? It's whatever.
Oh yeah. The Watchtower. The Jehovah's Witness guy.
Jehovah's Witness. You
Yeah.
got it, right. Whatever they give out. So he passes those out after his show, and he like looks around the crowd when he first came out. He spots me, walks all the way down the line, walks up to me, and goes, "Did you like the show?" And I was like, "I loved it." And he goes, "All right, here's some Watchtowers," and like gave me a hug, and then he walked away. I was like, "Come on
Oh.
now." Yeah, I think he was not only a fan, but I think he had a little crush.
Oh my gosh. I was convinced he was going to be my future husband. Okay.
I
I
think every woman was. I know.
loved him so much. Well, so when I lived in LA, he was renting a house in Beverly Hills. It was on my way home from E. And so every so often I would drive by just in case he might want to come out, 'cause
Did he?
maybe never, ever. I mean, I came close to meeting him a couple of times. I was in a couple of like VIP rooms after some concerts and things. Uh, but yeah, I loved him so much.
Me too. I'm
Borderline
his
stalker.
biggest fan. I love all of his music. I felt like he wrote it for me.
Same.
Yeah, I think that's why everyone loves him because it feels
Yeah.
like he wrote the soundtrack to your life.
Oh yeah. And like you were saying, like it felt like he was like looking at you from the stage. Every time I've gone to one of his concerts, especially like the small ones where it's like standing room only, I'm very short. I'm barely 5'2.5". So, I'd always be like right up front because people just let me kind of snake through because I can't see anything if I'm, surrounded by
Sure.
tall people. And it always felt like he's just staring at me. He's like, Jasmine, I see you. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
he was. I hope he was.
I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with that.
So will
He
I.
was yeah, he was staring at us, Dante.
I
He wanted to be our bestie.
Yes, I think he was. I think he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of fun. I mean, I don't get it as much from celebrities. I know that celebrities know me. Like like I have a million celebrity friends, and I know that like if I'm listening to certain shows, I could be a topic of conversation because it's not like I'm unknown by celebrities. But
Mhm.
back in the '90s when I was on TV every day, it was weird. Like it was weird. I remember one night Queen Latifah showed up to the Comedy Store, and everyone goes, "Queen Latifah's here," and they started like running around trying to find her.
Oh,
While they
wow.
all ran, I just stayed there. I stayed in one spot. And next thing I know, she walks up to me. She's like, "Oh, you're funny." And like hit me on the chest and walked away. I was like, "Oh." And then they all came back and they're like, "We couldn't find her." I'm like, "She just went that way."
Oh, that is awesome. That's the power of, like, BET and being on television all the
Yeah.
time, being
Yeah. Yeah.
seen, like, cool things happen when people know who you are.
Yes, it is true.
Yeah.
It is true. I mean, and that is true. And I hate to say it, but I think because you go inside people's homes and they get to like you, they feel like they know you, just like we do with Prince.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, it was really cool. It shows people they don't do this as much anymore, but they would bring me presents all the time. Like
Oh,
people would like
nice.
spray paint a T-shirt with my face on it and bring it to me at a
Oh,
show. I was like, this is crazy.
I love that. I love that. Okay, we don't have a ton of time left, and I
Okay.
have so many other things that I wanna ask you.
Okay.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know this about me. I used to box, not professionally, because I don't like getting hit, but I used I really don't. But I used to help train boxers at this boxing slash MMA gym that I went to because I'm a wild puncher, a very powerful hitter, powerful kicker, but unpredictable. So they wear the uniforms. I know it's insane, right? And so when I read that you boxed with Muhammad Ali, I was like, holy crap, that is flipping amazing because he is, and I'll probably get hate mail for saying one of the best boxers of all time,
The
but
greatest of all time.
I really do think the greatest.
He is the greatest.
But
I
so
mean,
what was that like? How did that happen?
okay, so I was boxing at the time. I was actually training one day when my mom comes running out to the garage where I was like with my trainer. And
Mhm.
he goes, Muhammad Ali is up the street. Your friend is on the phone. I said, what? So I get on the phone, and my friend, this girl from my high school, goes, "My dad just had Muhammad Ali come to his store today to sign some autographs. I know you're a boxer. Do you want to come meet him?" I was like, "Yes." So my mom drove me up there. I think I was like 15 or 14 or something. I still had on my whole like gear that I was boxing in and everything. We go to this store, and I ask him to sign a bunch of stuff, which he does. And then he goes, "Are you a boxer?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I was actually training when I found out you were here." He goes, "You want to box me?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's go out into the parking lot, everybody." So he calls the whole store outside, right? There's this
Oh my
giant group
God.
of people, and we're standing around, and he's like, playing with me, and we're boxing back and forth. And then he goes, "Okay, here's what I want you to do." He goes, "I want you to hit me as hard as you can." I was like, "Okay." So I punched him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he looks around at everybody and starts laughing. He goes, "Okay, that wasn't as hard as you can hit me. I'm gonna make you a deal. You're gonna hit me as hard as you can, or I'm gonna hit you as hard as I can."
Oh my
And I was like,
God.
"Oh, okay, I better do this." I hit them. So okay, so I just want to back something up. My trainer was this big New York guy named Angelo. He said that
Mm-hmm.
no one hit harder than me, and I believe him because he must have weighed 200-300 pounds, and when he would hold the bag, I would lift him off his feet.
Oh my gosh.
He goes, "You're like George Foreman." He's like, You may not be the fastest or anything else, but if you get one good hit in, they're gone. So I was like, okay, I'm going to hit Muhammad Ali as hard as I hit that bag. I punched him as hard as I could. It was like hitting a brick wall. He didn't flinch, he didn't move. And I'm telling you, I hit him as hard as I could. I hit him so hard, something happened that I've never seen in my life. My glove exploded on his body.
Oh
It,
my
it ripped open and all the cotton flew out. It was like in a
God.
movie. Um, it was insane. And he laughed. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was in amazement by it. He like picked me up. Like he started signing that glove. He signed the other glove. It was the craziest day of my life. I couldn't
Wow.
believe it. Yeah.
That is insane. Like that is a story for the ages.
Right. So then later in life, his daughter May May was a comedian, and next thing you know, I'm seeing him at the Comedy Store, a couple times a year and getting to know him. It was a crazy thing. I couldn't believe it.
Did he remember you?
Who knows? Because at that point he was much slower. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it was tough to even bring up memories like that. Because you could tell
Hmm.
he was shaking and stuff. So I don't even think I brought it up. I may have.
Wow, but
Yeah.
still, my gosh. Do you still have the glove?
Oh yeah, it's in my garage. I just looked at it yesterday, and by garage I mean uh, I have a garage that has nice things in it. That's more of a podcast studio for me. So
Oh my
yes, it's
gosh.
in a good spot. It's not in like a terrible spot somewhere.
I love that. And it's
Yeah.
funny you have a podcast studio in your garage because seriously, if I had a garage, that's what it'd be used for. It'd be half for podcasting and these chats and things like that, all the lives that I do, and then half for an art studio.
Yeah, I mean, I had it like that, and then unfortunately, my whole family died. So now it's
Oh
filled
my
with
gosh.
stuff. Yeah, yeah, it's all right.
Oh, I'm so
It
sorry.
happens. That's okay. People die, and then your garage
Yeah.
gets filled with stuff.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
It
I
happens.
avoid that by moving every couple of years and like leaving the country.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. You're very
Oh,
lucky you live in Florida. I love animals. We have a turtle rescue. I keep hearing noises and trying to look around to see what it is. Sometimes it's a frog, sometimes it's a lizard, sometimes it's one of these turtles.
oh my
Oh,
gosh.
it was a turtle that time. I see him now.
I did read about your turtle rescue. That is so cool.
Yeah, there's so many red slider, that people buy as babies when they're this big, and then 2 years
Mhm.
later they're this big or that big, and the tank is only this big, and
Yeah.
so all of a sudden people are like, "Hey, can you take my turtle?" And so we have ponds everywhere and a giant tropical yard. We've
Oh,
got like
wow.
8 ponds here.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That is awesome. See, I don't mind that wildlife. I mean, when we're talking snakes, not so much.
I'm not
Um,
into snakes.
no. After one of the hurricanes last year, I walked out my door and there was this snake on the step, and I said, "Okay, guess I'm not leaving today."
Wow.
And people are like, "What kind of snake is it?" I'm like, "I don't know. A slithering snake. I don't know."
Right, it was a snake.
Yeah, I'm like, "I don't know." It was a snake that said, "Jasmine is not leaving the house."
Right. It was a guarding my door snake.
Yeah, like, I don't know, whatevs. I have geckos. I love the geckos.
Me
They're
too. I
so
love that.
yeah, they're so cute and sweet, and they don't eat people. So
Right.
it's
I
great.
actually asked my wife if we could put a couple in the house, and she said absolutely not.
No.
Because like in
Party
Hawaii,
pooper.
they crawl into the house and they eat bugs, and I love them.
Mhm.
I love them.
Yeah, it's the same thing in Belize. My family had a place in Belize, and so there would be in my bedroom there were geckos that were in the painting behind, like above my bed, and then there would be another family of geckos over the like the closet, like it's a wardrobe, and they're loud because they would talk to each other all night long. Like, you need to be quiet. You know, these geckos here don't make as much noise, but the ones that we had in Belize would just squawk at each other all night.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, just shh. It's
I know.
nighttime.
Quiet down, or you have to move.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like it's our house.
Right.
You go.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I'm at that age now where I feel bad if I have to kill anything, and I try not to anymore. You know, even a fly,
Same.
I'll take it outside. Yeah. I don't want to hurt anything in the world.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I spent maybe 3 days, like a month or so ago, chasing a fly out of the house. It would not leave. It kept going to the door where there's a window. And I'm like, come on, let's just go. Let's go.
I know.
3 days.
It's tough. I know. It's tough. I just don't want to kill anything anymore because I feel
Yeah.
like they have a life too.
Yeah. Just because they took a wrong turn, they got lost. I get lost all the time. Does that mean I deserve to get killed? No.
No, no one deserves to get killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody.
So, okay. So, my last thing that I want to ask you
Yes.
is, because I had so many things. So, the last thing I wanted to ask you is about starting careers of folks,
Yeah.
because you've helped, and you alluded to some of it a little bit earlier, but tell me a story. I love your stories. Tell me a story about like a great career that you started that we would know.
Gosh. There's been a lot. And this one I don't think I started, but I can tell you how I influenced it.
Okay.
Um, so I went to college with a guy named Eric Bishop. And
Hmm.
Eric was this handsome kid. He super talented. I think he got a scholarship for music. I got the scholarship for acting. We were all friends. He and his girlfriend was a friend of mine. She was in a lot of my classes. He was more in music classes, but I think I had a couple classes with him too. Anyway, one day his girlfriend and her friend show up to a movie theater where I was working, and they said, "Hey, don't tell Eric that we're here, but he really wants to get into stand-up comedy." And I'd been a stand-up by college for 5 years or something by then,
Hmm.
or whatever, 3 4 years. And she goes, "But look, he's very jealous. Please don't say that we came here because he'll think we were here for some other reason. Blah blah blah." So I say, "Sure, I'll help him get into stand-up." The next day I pull up to school. All of a sudden, Eric is walking fast towards my car like he's going to punch me.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, "Hey, what's this all about?" And he goes, "What was my girlfriend doing at blah, blah, blah?" And I said, "Oh, come on, man." So I said, "I'm not supposed to tell you any of this, but instead of getting punched, I'd rather tell you the truth." So I told him everything. He calmed down. He said, "Can you help me get into stand up?" I said, "I'll tell you what, man. I think, open mic is tonight at the Comedy Store. Let me call in for you." So I call in, they say, no, he can't perform because, they had too many people already. And they said, but your time is, you have 8 minutes at 9 o'clock. I said, how about if I give him half of my time? Okay, you can do that.
Aw.
So I take him with me and he does great. Do you know who Faison Love is?
Hmm.
Okay, so if for anyone out there who doesn't know him, he was the big black guy in Elf, the manager in Elf. He was in Friday as Big Worm. He's in a million shows.
Hmm.
Anyway, he and I had gone to high school together and had been friends since junior high. He saw Eric and they sort of like talked, and he was like, "Hey man, I'll even drive you to this place," because I don't think Eric had a car. So Eric started going up and performing all the time. The next year I show up to college and there's no Eric. And people go, "Oh, he's on In Living Color now." And I go, "What are you talking about?" And I'd turn on In Living Color and they would show like, Jim Carrey and the Wayans and all these people. And then they'd show
Hmm.
some names and I would always look and I don't see Eric. I thought, oh, he must be an extra on there. Apparently, he moved up to LA, changed his name to Jamie Foxx, and now he has an Academy Award.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Yeah.
This has been like the most fascinating conversation ever, and I could seriously talk to you for hours, but I'm going to respect your time and
All right.
let you go.
I want to respect your time, so I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, Dante, thank you so much for chatting with us, and thank you for sharing your stories, and anyone who's watching, go to comicdante.com.
Right. If you want to hire comedians or other people for your parties or shows, go to Golden Artists with an S, entertainment.com.
Golden Artists Entertainment.
Yeah, and it's plural, the artists.
Got it. Okay, making sure I type that.
Oh, I like your nails. They
Ah,
look
thank
nice.
you. My nail lady is amazing, and she does, like, I just show up and say, pick me something, and she picks and she does. And so,
All right, that's good when you can get along with someone like that and they know what you
yeah.
like.
Yeah, I said, look, I like things that are flashy and bold. So she just goes and picks what she wants.
Great. And
Yeah.
thanks for having me on here. I had a really nice time.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. And you guys, thank you for watching. And if you're watching the replay, then, type replay in the chat and let us know what you thought and ask any questions that you have. And yeah, I'm super pumped. So thank you, Dante, so much.
Thank you.